You might ask, why is my voice sounding like this, right? So this week has been an extremely busy week. It's the most amount of PTs I'd say I've done on my life. I've been covering Pat and I didn't cancel one. That was my challenge, right, for myself this week, was not cancel a single person, run every single PT within Shedweight, and also do all my check-ins online, do everything, right? What did take a hit was my social media. Look, I haven't been doing as much videos because I was making sure that I was giving everything to our clients as much as I could. I didn't even tell people walking in the door that it was me going to be training, because we all have that perception of, right, even I get myself, change, right? So if I told someone, okay, pass away this week, that I'm going to be covering them, right? Instantly what happens, it's negative, pops into the head straight away. It's like, oh my God, change, difference, boom, boom, boom. Whereas what I did is, even when people were coming in, I hide at the corner, right? And I was like, damn, well, they were like, hey, Pa, how's it going? I was like, well, how's it going? They're like, oh. And then instantly, that's when I jumped in and like started chatting and made them feel at ease straight away, right? Even when it was me and not Pat, right? Because if I told them beforehand, then they would be stressing and it'd be just building up anxiety and more gym anxiety of coming back in. It's like starting the gym again. So what I noticed, which was brilliant, is straight away people were calm and had a brilliant session, right? Do you know, because myself, Pat, we're doing the same thing. We obviously might change in certain stuff in different aspects of the way of training, but we're still going to be hitting the exact same muscle groups, right? I was trying to get an exercise that they didn't know before to see the difference. Then from them doing a new exercise, they're going to be sore. So from them, like, Jesus Christ, I was with Jamesy there, and Jesus, we're a lot sore now than I was with Pa or whatever, right? If vice versa, people were saying that when Pa was covering me, you're like, Jesus, I'm a lot sore when Pa was training me than Jamesy, right? The reason why is, if you do something different, in any aspects, right? People go out there and they start painting their house. The next few days, their underarms, their lats, their arms, their knees, everything starts to get crippled. Why? Because it's a new form of movement, right? So we're hitting the same muscles in a different way. That's why you get a bit more stiff in certain areas, right? A couple of people know, like, if you're on an antibiotic, I'll shout this out, right? If you're not on an antibiotic or anything like that, you're not going to recover as good. Body's going to be a lot more dehydrated, so up the water intake. And that's what we've noticed with sicknesses, and like anyone that's taken, even from dentists or doctors, whatever it is, right? If your body is not at 100%, right, it's not going to recover as 100%, because a healthy body is a responsive body. You know, you're going to have a lot more aches. Even a thing, you could have the same workout, right, every single week, same weight even, right? But then you throw in a spanner of your body's run down by something else. It's focusing on that. It's not trying to focus on recovering your muscles, not as much, but it will, but it delays your basically recovery, right? So that's why I always say is always listen to the body in certain situations, right? Make sure that everything is right before nailing the body then and pushing on, right? So we had a big week this week, like all around. Everyone absolutely smashed it, like, and this is on like lines. Like, I'm a person that I'm like, anyone that knows me, and even from these videos, you'll know that I talk a lot. I share as much information as possible. Anyone that's with me, like online coaching, even, like the feedback that they get, the quality of the videos, the knowledge that goes in, and I even overspeak to just trying to drill something across. But it's also what I've really been focused on is mindset. Trying to drive the mindset into people's heads, right? Because what you tell your central nervous system is what you basically reveal. Me this week on Sunday, I literally said, when John found out there that Pa had to go off for the week, that I said to myself, this is going to be easy, I can do this, right? Gave me a year ago, I would be like, fuck, I can't, jeez, I'm going to have to cancel the 6 a.m, half 5, 5 o'clock in the morning. So I was running from 5 o'clock in the morning to 10 p.m. at night, right? So my week this week was PTs while getting my fasted cardio in. So it was either me getting up an hour earlier to get my 40 minutes cardio in, or if there was a space between PTs, I was getting the fasted cardio in, right? There might have been days there I was up at 5 and couldn't do my fasted cardio until 11, but I still stayed fasted and did it fasted as well, right? And then I'd get my own workouts, and none of my own workouts suffered. I made sure to nail every single thing while on this prep, right? So what happened here then is I went from working out then into my own PTs. So I wasn't doing any videos. I was making sure I was doing the check-ins as well in between. You know, making sure that, like, obviously the check-ins were a small bit later, but it was on the same day I was getting them back. So with my online coaching, I always recommend everyone to get it in before 10 a.m. and I get it back in the same day, because I allocate time for everyone, right? And everyone that has their check-in day, that day is designated to them, because then I know that I have the time to give them as much feedback on their day as possible. Because if they were chopping and changing, let's say everyone was booking in on checking in on the Friday, you know, that's obviously going to be manic, and it wouldn't be feasible for me to do it and give the attention to each client. So I have them spaced out during the week. That's why it's a big thing to keep on the days that they check in and before the 10 a.m. is because I then sit down and I get through it and I get feedback. Because the feedback, right, your feedback is instant. As in, if I say I want food changed, right, there's no point someone getting a check-in and then a week later watching it, which they don't, they all watch it anyway that day. But the reason why I'm just saying about it, if I give you feedback on, okay, we need to change this and this for X, Y, and Z for the next 3 days, if you don't see it for the week after, them 3 days are gone, then we need to reset and we need to redo it again, right? So I actually, everyone that knows, that's with me online as well, knows how the detail I go into, why I have markers in place. I explain everything to the T. If you're looking at bringing your health to a new phase, a new type of a level, new mindset, new physical change, drop me a message, right? I have a serious transformation. I put this together this morning. I sent it out to him this morning. This guy, like, literally came in, and look, I didn't even get starting photos. I should have got him when he came in the door 8 weeks ago. We got photos of this guy, and like, look, we want to add as much muscle tissue to the frame. It wasn't about cutting fat, anything like that, but the man has after added a serious amount of muscle tissue to his frame. But not only that, he's actually got leaner. But the massive thing, right, and it's unbelievable to see, the skin, the quality of his skin has completely changed. This guy is looking a lot healthier, right? Not only that, right, the quality of his hair, right, it tells an awful lot, right, in relation to the pure texture. You know, a lot of people, look, I'll even say it myself, my hair has got a shit ton better since I come up from my bulk, you know, as in the quality of it, right? There's a bit more even there of it. So, like, you know, before it was like a wire, right? Now it's actually smooth, you know, way better texture, because I'm actually looking after my nutrition. Nutrition is key. Now I'm going to switch it over to what I want to talk about nutrition wise in relation to, I was on the way home from Newcastle yesterday, so I was trying to find bread from my father, the Brennan's bread whole meal. Everyone must be on it because it's fair to get. I was in Boree, tried that, no, Rosecross first, then Boree, then Kilfinnan. I eventually got a half the one in Kilfinnan, right? I got a half a pen, but obviously there's something different with that. We're quite fussy in relation to his bread, so he wasn't too happy with the half pens. He said it tastes different. So look, everyone is to their own, right? So this is for your man that was in the shop in Sintra, right? Specifically tailored, because he came asking me questions. I was telling him about it, and at the moment, like, he had more and he said that he was asking, and I could feel that he was asking the questions, trying to get feedback, but the listening wasn't really there. He was kind of trying to lead conversation in the way he was kind of going. So now you can actually listen to this as well. And you know what? Other people are going to get taken from this as well, right? So this guy, right? John, going to be diagnosed with arthritis maybe soon, maybe not, right? Blood's coming back, all clear, right? But he is getting stiff joints, stiff aches, pains, everything like this, right? What I was basically saying to him is, look, I'm diet nutrition, I'm on no medication. For arthritis, yes, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, but I haven't been taking any Betroxid or Cimzia in nearly over 2 years now. You know, which is brilliant. But I was asking just about diet, what was diet, and he was like, look, it's shite. Takeaways to left, right, and centre, right, like this. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, what way is your, like, do you have much tomatoes and potatoes and stuff that I would find that, like, inflame my joints? And he was like, oh, no, not really, no, not this, and whatever, right? But just was like wanting to know, when will I get diagnosed, what will I get on medication, stuff like this, right? Nobody wants to hear that it's nutrition. If you focus on your nutrition, like that, even the doctors, rheumatoid arthritis didn't even tell me about this when I started on medication. That was more detrimental to my health, right, than even you realise. Even though, yes, fair enough, arthritis, if it's swelling up, it's constantly inflamed, yes, it's damaging your joints, so you need to be on this medication to bring it down. But then if we start looking at your nutrition, bring your nutrition levels down, inflammation levels down from your diet and exercise. Exercise is key, right? You have to get your exercise in when you go through flare-ups. Like if I go through flare-up, I'm constantly working out still the 5 days. Even it might be a bit lighter in relation to what I'm pushing, but I'm keeping the movement in to keep the blood circulating, to get the lubrications within the joints. Muscle is the key. If you're having pains with your joints, if you don't have the muscle to back it up or help support your joints, that's where you're going wrong. So you need to be thinking, right, instead of drugs from pharmaceutical companies and doctors and this, right, have a look in relation to your lifestyle. What way is your diet? Are you working out? Are you having excuses, right? Nobody wants to hear about nutrition, right? Everyone wants a drug to help them. I was at this stage as well, don't get me wrong, right? But now I'm a big advocate on diet can fix a lot of things, right? 2 years ago, my cholesterol was high. They wanted me to put on a cholesterol tablet, right? My coach said, no, give me a few months. And I was like, I'm not going on it, like, don't worry. But he's like, give me a few months, right? I was 5.8, right? All we did was change my diet, right? Not change my diet, just stuck to a diet plan. Like, I don't eat any processed foods, I don't eat any sugary foods, I don't have any takeaways and stuff like this, right? But I eat a lot of food. Everyone thinks, oh geez, you're on a cut now, you're dropping weight big time, you're not on that much food. I'm on a shit ton of food, don't trust me. I'm not going hungry, right? It's the quality, the different foods in relation to how much calories in the foods, right? So you can have like box of Pringles there, 600 calories, or you can have a bowl of oats, blueberries, almond butter, protein powder all mixed up, right, for only about 300 or 400 calories. And what one are you going to get more full from, right? I know it's going to be the oats, right? Because even like I noticed with the almond butter, delays digestion, so you feel fuller for longer as well, right? Even one of my clients said thanks a million for sharing that with him, because now his morning oats basically are pushing him on even more, that he's not as hungry, right? But going back to this guy, right, he's getting to the rheumatologist, bloods, all this, boom, boom, boom. If he does switch up his basic diet, right, I would say, look, if he came online with me, online coaching, yes, I would help this guy. I would have him a lot freer. I would have his joints at ease, right? I would have this, but he wasn't asking for that. Like, he wasn't looking for nobody wants to hear the answer is nutrition and diet, right? And don't get me wrong, like, look, bloods are coming back fine. So when bloods coming back, my bloods were through the roof. My AST, is it AST? Yeah. My inflammation levels were through the roof, right? They were through the roof. That's why I was put on basically medication to this, right? But my diet wasn't great. My diet wasn't great. Like, as in, my diet wasn't too bad, but it was like I wasn't getting the nutrients in that I am now with different foods, right? I swear by blueberries, veg, they're like the key for bringing the nutrients in. But like, if we're eating like a lot of more processed foods as well, right, on top of that, and stuff that doesn't agree with our body, we may not be retaining the minerals from these foods as we think we are, right? So sometimes we actually can waste a lot of money on the good foods when we're eating the bad foods, because it just throws off our whole digestive system, right? Look at me there now, I'm dropping the kgs week on week. I was a new low weight there, my last check in 91 kg. When I started this prep 6 weeks ago, I was 98 kg. I've 7 kg gone already, right? What is the key thing for how I lost 2 to 3 kg? I lost 2 kg. How I lost 2 kg within from last week's check-in to the week before is I was doing past PTs. What that meant is an extra 10,000 steps every single day, right? That's where I dropped, right? The power of walking. Nothing has changed. Walking, right? I just was walking more, right? So that's how I dropped the literally 2 kg, right? Is extra steps. And like, even Pai obviously this, he was like, sure, when he's doing PTs in the morning, when I'm doing PTs, he's out walking and he's dropping the weight like it. Because when I said to him, oh yeah, no, I just walking, he's like, yeah, look, I'm telling you, that's what I do. I just go for a walk. And I was like, oh, I know, yeah. And then he was saying, oh geez, you must be wrecked. And I was like, do you know what, I'm actually not. Because I'm on less food, I have more energy. And he was like, yeah, it's funny how that works, isn't it? But less food, but the quality of the food is brilliant, as in you're putting every single nutrient into the body. Your body's using it and absorbing it, and then you have a lot more energy because it's taking the fuel from this food, right? And there's nothing extra. I'm even sleeping better, right? If you told me there, I'm gone, like, I look, my sleep is a bit shorter this week. I'm gone from 8 hours to 7, right, to 6 some nights, depending on, like, drunk, because I work in PTs 10, I have to go in and get food, then prep for bed, and then get to bed, and then be up. Sometimes I was up at 5, right? So I did take side effect, but what I noticed was less of sleep actually does me better. Like the 7 hours, I plan on now only getting 7 hours sleep every single night, because the 8 hours I feel so. No, don't get me wrong, it's not that's the issue. This is actually why, right? When I have to get up for PTs all this week, I had my alarm, I was up straight there. Alarm went off, I was up, right? Normally, my alarm would go off, be like, I'll just chill for 5-10 minutes, right? And I'd snooze and stay in bed, right? And then I get up in a grogginess. Whereas when you get up straight away, when your alarm goes off, bright lights, straight away, that increases. Like, yeah, let's go, we're ready, morning, wake up, right? I was getting in, like, there was no sunlight when I was waking up, it was pitch black, right? But the lights on the phone, lights everywhere, right, around, right? It was waking me up. I was going in for a shower, right, straight away. Even towards the end, turn it to cold, right, for the last 10, 15, 20 seconds, right? Just saying that, just to wake me up that bit more as well, to be full energetic for the day. Got then my litre of water in. I was 3 litres of water gone by literally 10 o'clock, right? So I had only 2 litres, and I was trying to keep it to the 5 or 6, right? I didn't want to overdo it in the water. So, yeah, like even today now, I've already, a litre and a bit gone, and I have already 2 of my shakers gone. So I've already nearly 3 litres gone. Your man's probably looking at me now here beside you. He's like, what the fuck is this man talking about? And she's putting in these spuds. Right, I'm going to leave this video here. I'm going to go in now and do my food shop, and do the father's food shop to get him a bit of mash and different stuff. This is, yeah, and I have to get a few bits myself, like bagels, blueberries, chicken. What else have I to get? I have a list there somewhere. So what's on today's shopping list? Let me just see, right? So I have bagels, turkey rashers, almond butter, blueberries, chicken, and bananas, right? And then I have to get mash for the father and a milk, right? There we go, right? Hope everyone's having a good week, and I don't know when I'm going to put this up. It could be the end of the week, the start of the week. So whenever you're seeing this, have a good one.